What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Look, thank y'all all for joining the Inside of Mind podcast yet again. Look, we trying to get it right, so we trying all different things. So look, we got the video podcast going on right now. We got the video podcast. So look, I never want nobody to leave any of my episodes without feeling like they gained some kind of information or feeling like they didn't in some way benefit from listening to what I'm saying, right? And I apologize if I don't look at the camera too much. But listen, I'm gonna give you guys an actionable step I want you to take after listening to this podcast, but I'm gonna give it to you right now as well. I want you guys to take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, however long, and just sit down with a notebook and a pencil and just write down something about your journey that is uncomfortable or something that you feel you need to get over, right? Something that makes you uncomfortable or something that you feel is a struggle that you have at this very moment. And I also want you to write down what you think this situation is trying to teach you. What do you need to learn from this situation in order to make it easier or make this situation better? Right? So this whole episode, I kind of want to talk about, and I've been talking about this a lot, but I kind of want to talk about what people don't talk about when it comes to the self-improvement journey, right? The journey of bettering oneself, the journey of becoming the best you can possibly be. And that, to me, is the fact that they don't share the hardships, they don't share the ups and downs, they don't share the process of doubt, they don't share the process of feeling like, is this worth it? There's so much they don't share. And I understand that because my only guess for why they don't share that has to be that obviously they don't want to steer you away from taking that journey. Some of them don't want to steer you away from buying products that they're trying to sell you, or trying to steer you away from viewing their channel, right? Because if you tell somebody, look, this is not easy, this is very difficult, chances are their desire to chase that is gonna be a lot less. It's gonna burn a lot less, because I don't know about you, but if I feel that something I'm trying to do isn't as easy, or it's gonna take a lot more hard work, chances are I'm not going to want to do it as much, or I'm not going to want to do it at all, right? So a lot of people will get discouraged if they hear that, all right, look, which it's not as easy as you think it is, all right? A lot of us think it's easy. I'm saying this to say that you have to understand what is going to come with this. Now, as you go along the journey, you're going to figure it out anyway. But if I can tell you what kind of things you may go through, you might be able to adjust better, right? And what I mean by that is when the day comes that you feel the self-doubt, you feel the feeling of, is this worth it or not? You're going to look back to this podcast that you listen to and say, Zay said that this would happen. Zay said that around this time in my journey, this would happen and I would end up going through this. So when you know that you're not the only one who's going through that, it's going to be a lot easier to get through overall. That's how I feel personally. Me knowing that other people are going through similar situations or have been through a similar situation that I'm currently going through, it makes the process so much easier for me, because I know that I can get through it. I know that this is part of the process and I have to go through it. So let me try to think of some things you may go through, right? I think in the beginning, your motivation is the highest. It's a lot easier to make most of your progress in the very beginning because you have a burning desire for it, right? But that desire is going to quickly burn down. Everybody gets that sharp spike of motivation, right? Once that's over, and it's not going to take long to leave. Once you start realizing it's not easy, once you start realizing the results don't just come out of nowhere, you're going to lose that same desire. You're going to lose that same motivation that you had to begin with. But that's where a lot of people fail, is when they get that first hump and they aren't able to get over it. A lot of people tend to give up, right? And that's why they say, they come up with weird excuses of why it's not possible for them. But the truth is, all you had to do was make it past this one moment. So I'll tell you a potential moment for you, right? When you first start, you're going to have that motivation, right? And then you're going to feel, the first thing I think most people go through is the feeling of results not happening. let's just use content creation as an example, because content creation is a very popular lane as of right now. So let's say you're pursuing content creation, whether that be TikTok, YouTube, streaming, whatever it may be. If you're pursuing content creation, you're going to upload videos every day. You're going to record, upload. You're going to enjoy doing it. As a week or two goes by, you're going to realize that your views aren't going up very high. Or what could also happen is your views start off high and then your averages start going down. And then this is very discouraging. You feel like you're putting in a lot of effort, but you're not getting the results. For one, let me tell you, you're not working as hard as you think you are. All right, I'm gonna tell you that right now. Anybody who's watching this, I can guarantee you, as hard as you think you're working. I promise you're not working that hard. People have hard work so confused. It's less about how hard you're working, and it's more important about the work that you're doing, the work that you're putting effort in. So think about that for a second. And that could be a whole separate video. I could talk about that in a whole separate video because that's its own topic to me. But you feel like you're working hard, you're not getting the results you want, right? But the truth is, it comes with patience, it comes with consistency. And if you don't have those things, then simply it's not going to be as easy for you to make it and whatever you're trying to do. So when you get discouraged, which you will get discouraged, some advice I would give to you: remember the reason why you do this. The reason, your purpose for wanting to do what you do has to be stronger than any pain that you feel during the process. If I say I want to become a content creator because I want people to hear my message, I have a message that I need to get out to the world and I need people to hear it. That is a strong purpose for why I can't give up on what I'm trying to do, right? If your purpose is I need to have a good income so I can support the ones that I love, show people that it's possible to make it from nothing and to create generational wealth for my children, that is a strong purpose. That purpose is going to drive you far because it is a true purpose. It is something that is a strong want. And when you have a strong purpose, it negates a lot of doubt. So yeah, that's one of the first things you're going to go through is doubt, right? Or just feeling like you're putting in a lot of work for no results. So that's going to be like one of your first humps, right? Another hump that's going to come after that, let's assume that you get over that hump. You're like, all right, now I understand it's just consistency and patience, right? Then you might start getting some extra thoughts that come around that. Maybe you feel like you're not doing enough work. Maybe you feel not working hard enough. Maybe you feel like this, and that. You're going to have a lot of thoughts, but you got to realize that those thoughts truly aren't your thoughts. Those are thoughts that are meant to keep you from achieving what you want. So you got to learn to ignore those thoughts as much as you can. I ignore any thoughts that aren't proactive or productive, right? So what I mean by that, if I have a negative thought saying, Isaiah, just give up because nobody's watching your content. Isaiah, give up. You're only averaging such and such views. Isaiah, give up this, give up that. I can listen to that, right? And say, you're right. I only average 20 views a video. My last video only got 8 views. Clearly, nobody cares about what I have to say. I could listen to that and I could go run with that, right? But that's not a proactive and productive thinking, right? That's just negative. There's a difference between negative thoughts and then actual constructive criticisms. So like, let's say I was thinking like, all right, Isaiah, your videos are low in views. We got to switch it up. That's a thought that leads to more productivity, right? So that's different. It's not bashing myself, but it's me attempting to put myself in a better position using the knowledge that I have. So any thoughts that are not proactive or positive, ignore them. I don't listen to anything negative. I don't listen to. I'm not listening to no negative thoughts. If somebody tell me, Isaiah, you suck at YouTube, all right, cool. I'm not listening to that. Now, if somebody tells me, Isaiah, I think your videos are too short. You need to lengthen your videos a little bit more. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Let me try that out. And see what kind of results I get, right? That's a more proactive thought. If I think to myself, these videos are too short, all right, well, let's make a longer video. Let's try that out. That's more of a proactive way of thinking rather than just bashing it and just saying negativity, because negativity never leads to anything good. Nobody who says something negative ever has an idea of how to fix that negative thought. So if somebody says, Isaiah, you're a bad person, all right, that's negative unless you have a solution. If you have a solution for me being a bad person, if you say, Isaiah, you would be a much better person if you listen to others. Or Isaiah, you'd be a much better person if you let me try to think of something. You'd be a much better person if you took time to spend time with others. That's more proactive because you have a solution. When you have a solution, it turns negativity into a lot more of a proactive thing. So make sure you only listen to the thoughts that are proactive or positive and disregard negativity, right? And this is a kind of a side note, but another great tip I want to give you guys, because I'm really interested in the topic of limiting beliefs, the topic of intuitive versus invasive thoughts, intuition, promptings. I'm really into that topic, right? So I was thinking earlier today at work, and I was like, if you allow yourself to dwell on a thought or dwell on a decision for too long, you're always going to lose. Anytime you give a thought too much time to allow it to come up with different reasons you shouldn't do it, anytime you give it too much time, you wait too long to make a decision, you're always going to lose. You're always going to lose because you can't fight all those negative thoughts that are going to come after. So try to make your decisions as quick as you can, because that first thought is usually the best thought. It's usually the thought that has the most reason and leads you to the life you want to live. So almost always go with your first thought as long as it's positive, because it's going to be really hard to fight those thoughts that come after it, right? So let's see if I can think of some more for you guys. So after that whole thing of feeling like you're not doing enough, some more thoughts you may have. Another inner struggle might be just outside forces, I would say. So things that have nothing to do with the progress of what you're doing. So to me, that would be like just other people, any problems that you may have with other people, because problems always come when you're doing good. You may have women problems. You may have money problems. You may have work problems. Family problems. There's so many problems that just happen to just pop up out of nowhere whenever you're doing good. And I'll get real, transparent with y'all for this one, right? There was a point in time where because I've been on this journey for a while, right? I committed to trying to improve myself at like the age of 15, late 15, 16 years old. And I'm 19 years old now, right? But the difference is, in the beginning, it was a lot more of a bettering myself as a person kind of thing. From the age of like 15 to 17, it was a lot more about bettering myself. Once I got over that, and I still focus on that, but once I got over that, right now I'm more of in a business related mindset, right? My self-improvement right now is so much more business focused, and that's been my mindset for the past year and a half, I would say. So very recent, right? That's why I'm not tripping on progress. But there was a point recently, I wouldn't say it was too recently, but within the last 2 years, where I was not going through a situation, but there was some thoughts I was having that was hindering my growth because it was throwing me off, right? Which is really bad. I'm not gonna get too specific, but it was throwing me off more than things normally throw me off, right? And I had to shake back, but it was really hard at first to shake back. It was very difficult to shake back. Nowadays, it's a lot easier for me to shake back. If I go through something difficult, within 3 days, I'm right back on track because I understand what the process is like. But at that time, I didn't know how hard something could hit me and knock me down and how hard it would be to get back up after it. I had no idea how hard it would be to get back up after it. So I was really lost. I'm sitting here, and I was just thinking so many thoughts. Like my mind, the thoughts were just swimming around like Michael Phelps at just lightning speed, just every day, constantly, right? I'm going on long late night drives, right? Trying to clear my mind. I was just doing a lot of stuff I normally don't do, trying to watch movies to get my mind off stuff, and I hate watching movies. I'm trying to just do anything I can to clear my mind, but a lot of stuff just wasn't working. And the truth was, I had to confront that part of my mind as soon as I could, right? And that's exactly what I did. Is I confronted that part of my mind, and it gave me some closure. It gave me some closure, and it gave me some freedom in my mind, because I feel like I addressed a situation that needed addressing rather than just running from it, right? Because I was trying to run from it. So many times in my life, I've tried to run from situations rather than confronting them, and they still live with me to this day. So I had to learn to confront them directly so I could get over it. And I still don't think I'm 100% over that situation, if I'm being honest, but I deal with it a lot better now than I ever did. It's a lot easier for me to deal with it. My mind isn't it's like my thoughts are a little different than they were back then. Back then, my thoughts on the situation were a lot more powerful than they are now. Nowadays, a thought might pop up here and there, but it's quickly washed away, whatever. So I hope that gives you guys some good insight for the next time you guys deal with a situation like this without getting too specific. But I think I'm going to go ahead and end it there. There's definitely a lot more struggles you're going to go through, but I just want to talk about a few of the first ones and how to get over them. If you have any questions or anything you might be going through right now, please let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. If you want to talk to me more personally, follow me on Instagram at Zay After Dark, TikTok Zay After Dark. I'd love to chat it out with you. You know, this is a community at the end of the day. So if you want to listen to the audio podcast will be on Spotify, called Inside of Mine. We're not too big, so I'm not sure you're gonna find it. But just come and tune in to the YouTube videos whenever you get a chance. I'm not rushing you. You know what I'm saying? When you got a moment in your day where you could spend 10, 15 minutes with me, go ahead and pull up the channel. We could chat it up, you know. I have a lot of big plans for this business, because this is a family. This is a business. This is everything. So I have a lot of big plans for this, and I want y'all all to be a part of it. So I'm trying to build a community. Everything that y'all do helps. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Share any thoughts you have down below in the comments. I appreciate every single comment I get. I always look at them. I try to respond to all of them. I do respond to all of them, I feel like. So thank you all. I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace out.